In the cradle of the untamed wild, far removed from the clamor and chaos of urban existence, sits a secluded town. This hidden hamlet, secluded from the world's intrusive gaze, is gently wrapped in the radiant tapestry of nature's allure. It nestles quietly amidst undulating hills, majestic trees, and the boundless panorama of the wilderness, its very presence a soft ode to the splendor of Mother Earth. Wedged within nature's gentle clutch, this town stands as a sanctuary of tranquility. The air is pure, devoid of the noxious fumes of industry, and the outside world's cacophony seems a far-off, trivial whisper. The only sounds that grace these peaceful plains are the harmonious murmurs of the wind pirouetting through the leaves, the soft babble of the brooks as they trace their way across the landscape, and the melodious choruses of birds that fill the air with their symphony as dawn breaks. This secluded town, it's a refuge where peace prevails. The inhabitants here live life in its purest form. Their homes, crafted from the bountiful gifts provided by nature herself, stand as monuments to their reverence for the environment. They champion sustainable living, relying on the land's generous bounty. The town's pulse is slow, its rhythm in harmony with the gentle cadence of the whispering winds and the rustling leaves' lullabies. Life here finds no parallel to the turmoil that characterizes modern existence. The day-to-day routines of its residents are as serene as the untouched wilderness that cradles them. Children frolic in the sprawling meadows, their laughter reverberating against the backdrop of tranquil beauty. The adults tend to their daily chores, each one contributing to the harmony and cohesion of the community. Days unfurl in a rhythm as old as time itself, each one a mirror image of the last. Yet when the sun dips beneath the horizon and the town is bathed in the mystical glow of twilight, a chilling transformation takes place. As darkness begins to shroud the town, the day-long reign of peace capitulates to a peculiar disturbance. A subtle change permeates the air, a tangible disquiet that seemingly springs from the ether. For lurking within the heart of this utopia is a spectral presence that rends the serenity asunder. The carefully nurtured peace, so prevalent during the daylight hours, is brutally disrupted by a chilling, blood-curdling phenomenon. As darkness engulfs the surroundings, a bone-chilling dense fog creeps in, a fog that belongs to the realm of nightmares and terror. Night descends like a curtain, heralding a macabre spectacle. This fog, grotesque and unsettling in its existence, rolls over the tranquil town like a malicious intruder, a sinister phantom heralding unspeakable horrors that freeze the town's core with mortal dread. It swallows the once lively place, shrouding it under an oppressive blanket of silence, spinning a web of impenetrable inky black. This fog is not merely a natural occurrence. It is a spectral entity, a ghostly apparition that floats menacingly in the air, filling it with a tangible sense of doom. This is no ordinary mist that merely obscures. This is a malevolent presence, terrifying and suffocating, that saturates the air with a looming sense of imminent catastrophe. Each night, the town's vivacious rhythm decelerates to a bleak, desolate lull. It's as if the town's lifeblood itself is held hostage by this demonic fog. The once liberated heartbeats of the town now throb fearfully, whispering sinister tales that keep its inhabitants paralyzed, their eyes wide with terror. The streets that once buzzed with life are now hushed in chilling silence. The joyous laughter that once soared in the air has been smothered by an uneasy fear. It feels as if life itself has been vacuumed out of the town, leaving behind a spectral, ethereal void. The once inhabited houses stand abandoned, their doors bolted, their windows barricaded against the ghostly fog. The once enchanting town square, effervescent and full of life, now sits desolate, its charm drowned in the misty whirl. The once bustling marketplace, teeming with lively chatter, now stands muted, its pulse barely audible amidst the haunting whispers of the fog. Fear, once alien to this town, has now become its uninvited guest. It has permeated into the very soul of the town, into its every crevice. It lurks in the shadows, it festers in the quiet, it prowls in the alleys, it breeds in the dense fog. It has merged into the town's identity, becoming an integral part of its grim folklore. The fog is not just a climatic anomaly. It is a shroud for hidden terrors. It is a manifestation of the town's most horrifying nightmares, an incarnation of its profoundest fears. It is not just a veil that cloaks the town. It is a cover for the monstrosities that lie beneath, for the terrors that lurk in the darkness. It is a sinister whisper in the wind, a paralyzing chill down the spine, a fleeting shadow in the periphery of vision. The fog is not just a weather phenomenon, it is a veil for unseen horrors. Enveloped in the murkiness, malevolent entities dwell, unseen, unheard, but ceaselessly prowling. The fog acts as a dense shroud, veiling the surrounding landscape and concealing the unspeakable horrors at its core. It manifests as an ethereal wall of gray, a spectral curtain that obscures the unknown, an abyss that swallows light and hope, rebroadcasting only desolation and dread. An impenetrable stronghold of mystery and fear, it marks the boundary between the real and the surreal, consciousness and unconsciousness, existence and oblivion. This fog is home to no ordinary horrors. It's a labyrinthine enigma, a complex paradox, a riddle eagerly awaiting its solver. The fog is the physical embodiment of dread, a tangible manifestation of fear that creeps up silently. The mere anticipation of the unseen is enough to freeze the blood in one's veins, and the dread of the unknown, of what might be lurking within this spectral fog, acts as a paralyzing poison, seizing the heart in its icy grip. The silence is deafening, intermittently shattered by blood-curdling sounds that resonate through the dense fog. Ghostly whispers, the ominous rustling of leaves, the mournful howl of a lone wolf, magnified by the chilling silence. Invisible creatures wail into the emptiness, orchestrating a symphony of terror. Each sound, a haunting melody of mystery, reverberates within the foggy expanse, bouncing off unseen walls and echoing through the cavernous silence, leaving one's ears ringing with a profound sense of dread. The wind carries clandestine whispers, tales of terror that send icy chills coursing down the spines of those who dare to listen. They speak of monstrous apparitions, shadows performing a macabre dance in the fog, eyes glowing ominously in the enveloping darkness, stories of lost souls, of indescribable terrors, bone-chilling narratives whispered generation after generation. The unseen, like a ravenous beast prowling in the night, feeds on the fear of the unknown. This unseen horror, this lurking terror, resides within the fog. It's a monstrous entity that devours fear and feasts on dread. It slinks through the shadows, it camouflages itself in plain sight. It's the spectral fiend that haunts the fog. The fog is its protective cloak, the silence its formidable weapon, and the unknown its most trusted ally. Those who dare to venture into this haunted fog never return. They become entrapped in the labyrinth of the unknown, consumed by the fog, disappearing without a trace, leaving nothing but tales of horror echoing in their wake. Their chilling narratives become legendary, their names forever inscribed in the annals of the unseen. The fog is their tomb, the silence their epitaph, the unknown their lasting legacy. The fog, the unseen, the unknown, it's a triumvirate of terror that ruthlessly claims its victims. And those who dare to venture into the fog never return. Night after night the fog descends, swallowing the town whole. The residents wait, their hearts pounding in fearful anticipation. The darkness slowly engulfs the quaint, melancholy town as the eerie fog rolls in, bringing with it a foreboding chill that seeps into every crack, every crevice, every hidden corner. The residents, shackled by fear, huddle in their homes, the walls seeming to close in on them. Their hearts are stones in their chests, heavy with desperation. Their faces, as pale as the moonlight, are etched with deep lines of worry and the shadows of sleepless, terror-filled nights. The fog, their relentless tormentor, wraps around their homes like a spectral shroud, an ever-present specter of the fierce battles they wage every single night against an unseen, unknown enemy. With every creak of the old wooden houses, a shiver runs down their spines, a chilling reminder of the horrors lurking beyond their doors. Children, innocents caught in this nightmare, clutch their blankets tighter, their faces hidden under their beds, their eyes wide with terror reflected in the dim light. The adults exchange anxious looks, their mouths set in grim straight lines, their hearts drumming a frantic, desperate beat against their ribs. The echo of their own breaths in the deathly quiet night is a deafening crescendo, the silence marked only by the occasional hoot of an owl or the distant mournful howl of a lone wolf. Clinging to a spindly thread of hope that threatens to snap at any moment, they pray, their whispers filled with pleas for an end to their plight, for survival against the horrors unseen. The town's streets, once teeming with life, are now mere skeletal remains of their former selves, void of any laughter, any sign of life. Each townsperson carries a haunting tale, a tale of a friend, a family member, a loved one who disappeared into the fog, swallowed by the mist, never to be back in the world of the living. The whispers of their battle against the unseen terrors reverberate through the town, bouncing off the deserted alleys and empty squares, a haunting chorus of fear and desperation. A heavy question hangs in the air, as oppressive as the fog itself. It weaves its way through the desolate streets, seeping into every home, every heart, every desperate soul. A question that freezes their blood and leaves them gasping for breath. A question that gnaws at their sanity, relentless and cruel as the smothering fog. Will the town and its residents ever escape the malevolent grip of the fog, or are they forever trapped in this limbo? The answer remains as elusive as the fog itself, hidden in the depths of the night, cloaked in ambiguity and dread. The fate of the town is left hanging in the balance, a tragic ending shrouded in mystery, leaving the audience teetering on the edge of despair and suspense.